Good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome back to Toledo Mobster Hockey. Today, we're going to bring you Game 2 of the American Premier Hockey League's first-round playoff game between the Toledo Mobsters and the Kalaska Battlers. Game 1 was last night. Final score ended up being 10-6, and at that point, we took the first game of the series. We can end it today with a win here and not have to head up north to play Game 3.
Fans, it's going to be quite a good game today. There was a little back and forth action at the end of last game. A couple players wondering who scored the final goal. Might be looking at some physicality here out of the start. Kalaska has to show up, though. They have to show up physically, mentally, and emotionally ready to play. I talked with Coach Way, and I talked with Coach Getzinger yesterday, saying, you guys didn't play a full 3 periods. What are you guys going to do to end up making it a better game? He said, hopefully the guys realize it wasn't good enough and that they need to step up. There's a couple new faces in the lineup tonight, isn't there?
There are a few new faces. For the Mobsters tonight, we've got Chris Lutz, number 12 will be here, number 69, Logan Haley, and number 73, Patrick Madrowski, will be joining the team. Not available to play today are J.J. Sarter, Evan Parr, and Dominic Cole. They've been taken off of the roster, and the 3 that we discussed earlier will be added to it, so we'll have a full bench.
A couple of bright faces to see there. I mean, Chris Lutz, Pat Madrowski, couple known goal scorers for the Mobsters. Last year, Lutzy having quite a season, putting in overtime goal after overtime goal. And you get some physicality out of Logan Haley, the big, normally a defenseman playing a little bit of forward today. Talked to Coach Getz about that one, and he said it's going to balance out the lineup. Bring in a couple guys that will bring in some great team chemistry, give you a couple goals, give you a couple hits. Hopefully, it's a big hit today.
And that it should be. I know I had a brief conversation with the Kalaska coach myself, and he was a little subdued after last night's loss. I think he expected more from his players as well. Lee Roberts will not be in the lineup tonight, so that's 3 power play goals that we got, and it could certainly change the outcome of this game, so it'll be interesting to how that shakes out.
Lee Roberts, the former Toledo player, along with Austin Giblin out there for Kalaska today, but the former Toledo player, Lee Roberts, picking up 3 big penalties that resulted in goals for Toledo, plus having a 10-minute misconduct and a game misconduct, all in the span of a single period. Quite a player to lose if you're looking at it from a Toledo perspective. From a Kalaska perspective, you're kind of building what you want. You lose a little bit of not so much discipline out there. But once he was gone, you saw, that second period had 3 goals for Kalaska, 4 goals for Kalaska, and they were scoring. And it looked like team chemistry almost showed up a little bit more. They just couldn't find a way to do it in the end.
Well, and I would agree with that comment. And one of the things that I noticed, though, was once Roberts got out of the game, the speed for Kalaska seemed to really pick up. So they put the pressure on us. And at first, that was something that Toledo couldn't counter. They didn't seem to get the wheels going until there was a 4-on-4 situation about halfway through the second period.
100%. Kalaska has a very fast and deep bench. Talking with some of their players, they have players right now who are playing up in the FPHL with Danville. They've got players playing who have played SPHL games. They've got players from all over. It's quite a group that a lot of them aren't from Kalaska. Now, some of the Toledo players are from Toledo, but a lot of the players in Kalaska aren't from Kalaska. They bring in a good group. Their owner, Gibbs, Andrew Dibble, brings in a great group of guys that want to play constantly, and they have some high-level talent.
And that showed up early on in the game last night. I think their wheels kind of went away from them at the end of the game as they constantly got the pressure, but some of that also was the counter by Toledo, because after that 4-on-4 that we were discussing earlier, Toledo got its speed back. Once they realized, hey, we've come back at them with speed, it changed the game, and it opened back up to a 3-goal lead late in the game, and as it ended up, that 10-6 score with the late open net goal to make it 10-6.
100%. Toledo, I've said it all year, Toledo is the best team when it comes to a 4-on-anything situation. to them being down a man. They have I always called it the power kill. They seem to score goals on the penalty kill. They seem to score goals any way they can and any way out there. So it should be a good matchup tonight. Should be a close matchup. I think that's it for us right now, folks. I think we're going to send you off for a quick little break. This has been the Way Too Detailed pregame show from all of us here at the Mobsters. This is Toledo Mobsters Hockey.
Test. 1, 2, 3.
Well, welcome back, fans. I'd like to have a quick thank you to our sponsors for Toledo Mobster Hockey: Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballast Buick, GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodman of America, Twiggs Hockey Advisors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ ResQ, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed, Bulldog Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, E&K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts are all sponsors of Toledo Mobster Hockey, and we thank you for all you provide for us.
As we were talking about a bit ago, we said Logan Haley was in the lineup. It's a little bit of a change. We have now changed that to Will Davis. Will Davis, a player who comes out of Cleveland, Ohio. Quite a young player, quite a good young player. Normally plays defense for the Mobsters. Looking like he'll play some forward today.
That's fantastic. It's a nice plus. It's a good ad, and it's something that Toledo's going to look forward to with that extra added pressure. Somebody that we didn't mention earlier that I thought had a really big game last night, had several breakaway opportunities. Mr. Hightower for us looked fantastic yesterday. Clay had a couple of great breakaway chances, just couldn't pop it by the goalie, but I think he's going to do that today.
Clay's always a menace out there. He shows up ready to work at all times. When he gets his breakaways, he's through. 9 times out of 10 he'll score. It was a little weird for him yesterday not to pick up his goal, but he's also a defensive master. He's a two-way player up and down the ice the whole time. He'll block shots. He'll score shots.
That he will. We were able to get the starting lineup for the Mobsters. At forward, we're going to have number 86, Caleb Williams. At wing, number 40, Clay Hightower. And at the other wing, number 9, Dennis Ossenmacher. At defense, number 67, Brody Duncan. And he'll be joined by number 20, Nate Brown. In net today, number 37, Matt Mahalik.
Quite a good lineup. Here is the starting lineup for the visiting Kalkaska Battlers. In net, it's number 1. It's Zach Freiberger. Freiberger came into Toledo a couple months ago when we played Kalkaska here. Had himself quite a game, making save after save after save in what ended up being a little less of a close affair. But he will put teams on his back. He will go through the entire lineup. Ahead of him, at forward, you've got number 77, Tyler Christensen. Tyler Christensen had a great game yesterday. He did get into some penalty trouble throughout the game, but had himself a great game going board to board, coast to coast the whole time. With him is forward number 15, Matt Heim, an assistant captain this year. I talked to them about previously, their captain broke his hand, has a screw basically puncturing out of his hand. He was meant to be back for these games. He has to redo the surgery with a screw that's poking out of his hand. Unfortunate, but it is what it is for him. Ahead of him, number 24, Will Holden. Will Holden, his brother, a goalie for the team as well. Will Holden puts up points. You saw it yesterday, him scoring, him assisting, him making saves in front of the net. He does quite about all that you need out of a good, strong forward. As well with him, actually, on defense, you have number 13, Mason Held, a big, solid defender. Will put the team around and put it on his back. Then with him, number 5, Evan Kellogg. Kellogg quietly had quite a few points. He puts pucks where it needs to go. He's more of a defensive-minded defenseman, but he puts the puck where it needs to go. Apart from that, that's all we have right now. That's your starting lineups. This is Toledo Mobsters Hockey. We'll be back here in a few minutes with more hockey. Welcome back, fans. This is Toledo Mobsters Hockey. I'm Lucas Osma. I'm here beside.
Mark Bose.
We're here with some Toledo Mobsters hockey action in the Governor's Cup, the APHL Governor's Cup first round. It's between the Kalkaska Battlers and your Toledo Mobsters. As we get ready for the national anthem, we're hearing our starting lineups. What are we thinking right now? Should be a close-knit game. Should have a lot less calls. Referee Troy Bose is now on the lines. Should be nice and fun. We are here with Mr. Bose. What do we think, Mr. Bose?
Well, I expect a high-intensity game. I expect Kalkaska to come out with a little bit more fire than they had yesterday. They had to have good speed, but couldn't have maintained a little more pressure in our zone on sustained plays. It's something they couldn't do yesterday. Toledo had a lot of opportunities, almost doubled them in shot opportunities against Kalkaska, so that'll be something to watch. Can we maintain the pressure that the Mobsters had last night into today's game? Got the national anthem coming up at this time, so we're going to take a quick little break for the national anthem, and I'll give you the starting lineup for the Mobsters after. All right, fans, we're back for Game 2 of the American Premier Hockey League Governor's Cup battle between the Toledo Mobsters and the Kalkaska Battlers. Starting lineup for your Mobsters. At center, number 86, Caleb Williams. On his wings, number 40, Clay Hightower. And number 9, Dennis Ossenmacher. At defense, number 67, Brody Duncan. And at the other D, number 20, Nate Brown. In net for your Mobsters today is number 37, Matt Mahalik. And we have the opening face-off. The Battlers maintain control, try to break out to center ice. Stolen right away by Williams. Feeds it over to Ossenmacher. He tries to play it up to Hightower, just out of his reach, but he dumps it in. Knocked away there by the Battlers, taking a look out of the zone. Up towards center and off the far boards. Brody Duncan picks it up, circles and looks up ice for Hightower. There's Hightower over to Williams. Williams off to Duncan that stepped into the play. Quick chance there. Had it broken up. Maintained control, still in the zone. Taken out finally by the Battlers, but Duncan repossesses the puck.
Duncan there had a quick opening to get that breakaway shot. Tried to go between the legs of Freiberger, just couldn't get it off.
No, it was a close one. The Battlers have a chance here as they look to break out of the zone. Again, they set up deep as they did yesterday. Try to hit the sideboards, now out to center, steps into the zone, quick chance. Mahalik with a nice pad save, kicks it to the corner. Pressure there, steps around for the Battlers, looks towards the point, but fought along there and broken up by the Mobsters. Played by a high stick, and it'll have a face-off.
Austin Giblin there having his stick just up a touch too high, saying to linesman Troy Bowes, hey, my stick was at my chest, but Austin Giblin had it a little high, played it right after. You know, it's going to be a face-off right outside the Mobster zone.
Big opportunity here for Toledo. Lutz to take the draw. On his wing is number 28, Reese Bomey, and Pfeiffer, number 2.
One of the Pfeiffer boys, Cam, had himself a goal yesterday. He's coming back from his injury. Was out 6 weeks with a rib injury. Coming back looking and scoring many goals since he's came back.
Teeter brings it up to center, over to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer takes it over, knocks it ahead there. Lutz carries in. And number 4 was Pfeiffer. He didn't have his name on, so I was lost there for a second. Pfeiffer gets it at center ice, looks and dumps in just wide of the net, but picked up along the boards by his brother and kept in by Teeter. Teeter dumps it back in, but the Battlers gain control. Giblin looks up ice, far side, picked up, knocked away again by Teeter. It's going to be a rush here by Lutz. Wasn't Lutz, it was Kane on that shot.
Riker Kane putting that in the dangerous area right off the pads. Reese Bomey had the rebound opportunity, just couldn't quite get it off.
Way along the boards, knocks it up. Omachinsky gains control. Into the zone safely. Here's a chance for Trevor Pinnell. Backhand shot knocked away by the Battlers. Out to the point. Shot there by Omachinsky, knocked away by the goalie for Kalkaska. Toledo doing a good job of cycling the puck here, but the Battlers clear the zone. Way rushes back to try to pick it up. Sideboards to Omachinsky. He looks up ice, tries to make the pass, knocked away by the Battlers. Dumped right back in. Mahalik comes out, plays it up the sideboards towards Omachinsky. Way knocks it down. Madrowski throws it back behind the net as they set up the play. Trevor Pinnell back there signaling which way we're going. Looks up ice. Nice pass there to Omachinsky. Omachinsky dumps it into the zone. Deep into the corner. Battlers clear the zone as the Mobsters go for a line change. Dumped in. Played there. Up to the sideboards, but the Battlers pick it up. Knocked ahead to center ice for the Mobsters, but picked up by the Battlers. Going to have a rush in. Tries to dance through. Nice check there by Hightower to take the man off the puck. Duncan backhands it out of the zone to center ice. Giblin picks it up for the Battlers. Hightower over to Williams. Back to Pinnell. Over to Duncan. Duncan looks across the ice. Just has that pass broken up intended for Williams. But puck is at center ice. Now it's brought in by Williams. Off it comes to Duncan. Duncan slides it towards center. Battlers just try to dump it out. Breaks into the zone with a chance here. Opportunity. Nice stick by Hightower to knock that puck away and out of play. 15:23 to go here in the first period. A 0-0 score.
Toledo going back and forth, giving quite a few shots, quadrupling the number of shots that Kalkaska has right now. Going end-to-end, playing a 200-foot game right now.
It's quick pace, end-to-end, as you said, and a lot of pressure being put on by Toledo here. Face-off will be deep in the Kalkaska zone, attacking zone.
Talking with Coach Getzinger, his saying is always, keep it simple, stupid. And forecheck, back check, paycheck. Hightower there, getting up ice, trying to make a goal, coming all the way back, and blocking another shot.
Looks like we have a technical issue over with the score clock. Lineman Troy Bose is over there working with the clock right now, pulling double duty.
The head APHL official Troy Bose, always here in Toledo, makes the travel out to like Pittsburgh and up to Kalkaska every once in a while. Head referee running the lines today, making sure everything stays right. Any suspensions you guys don't like, you can always talk to him about it. But I do believe that they might have thrown Lure out from the Toledo bench. That, I believe, is what might have gone on. They are talking about the clock here, but I do believe it might have been Lure needing to leave the Toledo penalty box.
All right, looks like we've got everything straightened out. They're talked to the Toledo bench. And there's the draw. Face-off was won by Toledo, but just out of the reach of Pfeiffer. Out in front of the Battlers. Quick shot by number 15, Matt Heim, as we discussed earlier in the game. Good shot. Battler lead 1-0.
Matt Heim looking to play strong today. Came over, put it just over the glove of Matt Mahalik. Mahalik hasn't seen much action in the past few weeks. This is his first time back in net for a while. Looks a little rusty. Does get his rebounds out very far. It's always different when you don't have Matt Cooper in net. Matt Mahalik, just as good though.
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily Mahalik's fault. There was a good draw win for the Battlers off of that face-off right after the goal. Played back here by Mahalik, now behind the net. Tried to clear right back in front for Kalkaska. Loose play. Kalkaska's up 2-0. That goal was by number 16, Brendan Rainey. His coach was talking about him last night, that he's been hot and should have a couple of quick goals. Well, there's a quick popper. Just some undisciplined defensive hockey by our Mobsters on that play that let that puck loose in front, and Rainey put it behind Mahalik. 2-0, 14:59 to go here in the first period. Face-off won by the Battlers. D-to-D pass, looks up ice, looks through the center and carries it in. Dumped deep, picked up back here by Brody Duncan, up the sideboards to Ossenmacher, through the center of the ice and just out of the reach of Hightower. Kalkaska regains control, carries into the zone, knocked away by Hightower, over to Hightower, gets it back, steps into the zone, quick shot, knocked away by Giblin. In the corner is Williams. He throws it out to Hightower, off the skate. To the point it comes, out to Pinnell. Pinnell takes a look. Got it right under the skate of Hightower, and Hightower stepped on the puck and fell down. Back into the zone now for Williams. Williams with the shot. Blocker save into the sideboards. Kept in the zone here for the Mobsters. Finally cleared by the Battlers down ice, and that'll be an icing call. 13:54 to go in the first period. Battlers with 2 early goals lead 2-0.
Again, you go back to the coaching point of Coach Getzinger. It's if they can play 3 full periods. Right now, Toledo started out really hot. They sort of settled into the game, letting Kalkaska settle in as well. Kalkaska can score quick. They're a very fast, agile team, and they'll shoot.
Williams out to the point to Duncan. Duncan with a shot, knocked down by the Kalkaska goalie. Cleared the zone just out of the reach of Duncan, and that'll go down for, icing was waved off. Pinnell picks it up at the sideboards, looks up ice. Off to Williams, over to Hightower. Hightower with a chance, tried to use Giblin as a block. Played behind the net. Ossenmacher's there, and as well as Duncan, knocked free. In front, there's a chance for Williams. Nice blocker save. Back to Ossenmacher along the side. Clear the zone to Duncan, over to Pinnell. Pinnell back to Hightower. Far side for Ossenmacher. Just fumbled it, but into the zone. Here's a chance for Hightower. Puck came off his stick. Over it comes to Brody Duncan, tipped in front by Williams. Hightower back in front. Chance for Ossenmacher, and he knocks that loose puck in. 2-1. Kalkaska. Nice goal by Ossenmacher. Giblin took exception.
So Caleb Williams sitting out in front. It was Caleb Williams with the goal. The little rebound opportunity, Ossenmacher kind of kicking it across to Williams. Williams just poking it around Freiberger. Freiberger had no idea where the puck was, looking, trying to find it. But Williams just there. Williams had a hat trick yesterday. He's showing back up to score again today.
And we're going to have a penalty right after the goal. Trying to figure out what they might have called here. Wait for the signal from the press box.
I think they may have called. Oh, no, it will be 4. It will be to Hightower as well.
Yeah, it's Clay Hightower, number 40, was called for a 2-minute penalty. We just haven't been told yet. They're announcing it shortly. Badlers take control, look to carry it up ice. Up across center, dumps into the zone. Met there by 2 Mobsters. Played around to Pfeiffer behind the net. He clears it out to Lutz. Lutz tries to hit the breakout, but no one was quite there. Good pressure here by his brother Cam. Cam battling in the corner for the puck. Pfeiffer was there by himself as they're short. On the penalty kill, we've got a whistle, and we're going to be called, looks like a hold.
A cross check coming to number 77, or no, 15. That's Matt Hyam. Hyam getting called for a cross check. Pfeiffer going in hard into the corner, holding there. It looked more like a hold, but holding him towards that corner and just a quick cross check after. And our referee sees a cross check. He'll call a cross check. He'll go both ways on the penalties.
And that's a good trade-off. That hard pressure by Pfeiffer takes one of their goal scorers off of the ice, which gives us a 4-on-4 situation. Something we talked about early in the game was the 4-on-4 works somewhat to the Mobsters' advantage.
When the Mobsters can open up space on the ice, they move the puck and they have more opportunities to score. We've got players out there like Caleb Williams who will just move fluidly like he's gliding on ice across and just will shoot anything, and he has probably one of the best shots
good
in the
pressure
league.
here, and it's
Shot.
a goal! Fennell skated right in on net. No one touched him, and he threw it right between the pads. 2-2, and it's still a 4-on-4 situation. As we talked about, Toledo on a 4-man situation is a dangerous, dangerous team.
You talk about that 4-on-4 situation, players just gliding through. It's Trevor Pennell. Trevor Pennell, the very offensive-minded defenseman, going around 2 players and just slightly sliding it past Freiberger.
11:48 to go here in the first period. Toledo Mobsters battle back to tie it up 2-2 here in Game 2 of the Governor's Cup. Kalkaska back in their own zone looking to break out. D-to-D pass. Another D-to-D pass, and Toledo still has them pinned in. Now out to center ice for Kalkaska. Dumps it in deep. Duncan goes for the puck at the sideboards. Gains control. Steps back around and feeds it to Pennell. Pennell looks up ice. Looking for a breaking Omachinski. He does tip it with his skate over to Pennell, and here comes Pennell. Assist to Duncan and Bomey on that Pennell goal. We're going to have penalties here in front of the net.
Duncan getting called for a cross check there. He's always strong going to in front of the net. Just maybe took a little bit of exception to a couple hits there and picks himself up a penalty.
Wow, 3 of the Kalkaska players met Duncan in front of the net. He took exception to the 3-on-1 situation and through a little cross check. It's 11:01 to go here in the first period, tied at 2. Kalkaska will be on the power play for 9 seconds, and it'll be back to a 4-on-4 situation. Kalkaska wins the draw. Back to Giblin. Slides it over to his D partner. Taking a look. Steps in towards center. Here's a shot. Knocked, saved by Mahalik. Knocked loose. Another chance for Kalkaska as they bring it back out to set it up. We are at 4-on-4 right now. Giblin out of the corner has it knocked away. Good pressure there by Pfeiffer to put it out to the point. Kalkaska D looks in, tries to in front for a tip by Giblin and knocked away. Kalkaska maintains control, brings it out to the point, off to the sideboards here. Back to the point, shot knocked away. Here's Hightower, brings it out of the zone, and they are 4-on-5 right now as that penalty ran out for Kalkaska. So they've gone on power play now, minute and 10 seconds, with 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the period.
That minute and 10 seconds, that player in the box is someone you don't want in the box on this penalty kill. It's Brody Duncan. Brody Duncan, one of those solid puck-moving defensemen that'll throw the puck all the way down the ice when needed.
Assenmacher on the draw. Won by the Badlers, back in their zone, looking to break out. Out towards center. Carries it back into their own zone. Assenmacher with the pressure. Knocked down. It'll be picked up there by Pfeiffer. Thrown out, but picked up deep in the Kalkaska zone. Pressure by Lutz behind the net. Kalkaska sets it up back behind the net. Out towards the sideboards. And they're just cycling deep in, which is fine. Toledo will take us because they're killing the penalty for us.
100%.
Knocked away by Lutz. Here's a chance in front, but knocked away. Breakout for Kalkaska. Slides it over. 2-on-2 situation. Shot in front, knocked down by Brown. Here's another chance. Mahalik makes the save. Stops the puck. 9:21 to go. 2-2 tie. 20 seconds of power play time for Kalkaska.
You see at the other end, Toledo pressuring and pressuring and pressuring. You talk about 4-on-4 situations. They're 4-on-5 situations. Still, they put pucks to the net and they put pressure on most teams.
And that's key. It helps kill your penalty as well. That's what's so impressive is the pressure by Toledo not only is putting Kalkaska deep in their zone, but it doesn't give them an opportunity to use their power play. On the draw was Kane. He lost it back to the Kalkaska. Saved quickly by Mahalik, and we'll have another draw. Still 15 seconds of power play time for Kalkaska.
Look for when that 15 seconds is up, Duncan to just jump on the ice and try and go for a goal. Even whether he's on that defensive end.
Kane knocks it loose. Omachinsky chases the puck down to the corner. There's a battle in the corner by Omachinsky and 3 Badlers. Giblin looks up ice, makes the pass, knocked away there by Pfeiffer. He steps in from his D point and knocks it deep into the zone. Clears it out to center ice. Breaking Kalkaska player, tied up quickly by Pfeiffer. Nice save by Mahalik and knocked it away from the stick of that Kalkaska player. Big hit there at center ice on Duncan. That was number 5, Evan Kellogg, that just blasted Duncan. Duncan's looking for the number. Throws it to the side. Breakout here for the Mobsters. Kane has it come off his stick. Picked up by Giblin, thrown to his D partner, number 63. That's Caleb Chillman. A lot of hitting here, and there's going to be a penalty. Going to be a Toledo penalty, and it's probably going to be from behind.
It's Steven Swick heading to the box. It'll probably be a cross-check. I believe he signaled cross-check. Steven Swick laying the body. Puck was nowhere near at that point. Laying the big body. You know Steven Swick's the big, strong man on the team, known for his fights and known for his big hits.
There may have been a mission there because It was number 5, Evan Kellogg, that lit up Brody Duncan at the blue line, and that's who Swick just hit. So he was, don't mess with us, we'll mess with you. Toledo with a chance here. Breaking into the zone is Williams. Williams looks across for Hightower. Quick shot just over the top of the net. There's a goal by Calais. Hightower plays it wide off the glass, picks up his own rebound, and puts it in the net.
I've said it all year. The power kill of Toledo, when they're in a 4-man situation, they open up just so much space, and you know they're ready to go.
It's a 3-2 lead now for Toledo. 7:50 to go in the first period. Still a minute 44 to go on a penalty kill, or as Lucas likes to call it, the power kill for Toledo. Kalkaska gains control of the puck, again, deep in their zone, and they set up from behind the net. Chillman looks up ice. Breaking player down the far boards. Duncan on him. Knocks it away. Duncan meets him, takes him off of the puck, and it's dumped down to kill more time. Kalkaska sets up from behind the net. Long pass up to number 25, kept in. Dumps it to the corner. Play there by Toledo. Duncan tries to take the puck, has 2 on him. Over it comes to Pinnell, and he feeds it up the boards toward Hightower. Hightower clears the zone with Williams breaking. Kalkaska takes it back high against time, takes it behind the net, looks for the breakout. Skates up through center. Loose, tipped in front there by Way. There's Giblin, dumps it down behind the net. Way clears the zone. Still 25 seconds to go in the power play for Kalkaska as they set up behind the net. Breakaway, there's a chance as Ossenmacher picks it up. Throws it in front, knocked away by Kalkaska. Wide pass across board. Kalkaska has to step back into the zone. Bad pass, puts Ossenmacher on the puck. Ties his man up, and the Mobsters are back to full strength. And this will be an icing. This Way plays the puck. Icing will come down to the offensive end for the Mobsters.
Only 2 shots coming from that power play for Kalkaska. They had a full 2 minutes and only picked up 2 shots. Kind of looked like the walleye out there trying to pass too much, giving away a couple simple breakaways in their own zone for Dennis Ossenmacher.
You have Lutz taking the draw with Bomey and Pfeiffer on wings. Down deep, just out of the reach of Reese Bomey. Puck is cleared. Lutz picks it up, tips it across. There's Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer takes it back into the zone, tries to, under pressure. Takes it, looks across ice, and there it is to his brother, Cam. Actually, that was Brendan. Down in the corner, Brendan takes the rush. Picked up by Bomey. Looks around, tries in front, right off of the pads of the Kalkaska goalie. Way will pick the puck up and turn out of the zone. Pass up to Pfeiffer, ahead to Bomey. Bomey slides it over to Pfeiffer, shot just across the top of the net. Kept in there by Lutz. Lutz takes the shot, knocked to the corner. Out to the point where Brown plays it back in deep. Chillman feeds it around to his partner. Now he tries to break out with it. Dangerous play in front of his own net, but comes out to center for Kalkaska. Picked up by Brown. Off the skates of the referee and into the glove of Mahalik. We'll take that draw with 4:46 to go here in the first. Game 2, Governor's Cup of the APHL with your Mobsters up 3-2.
Very back and forth in this action right now. You get 2 goals one way, 3 the other. It'll be exciting to see the rest.
Oh, no question. Great game so far. Out to the point. Heim over to Chillman. Off the shoulder of Mahalik. Played up aboards to Madrowski. Breakout by Kane. Tried to get it up to Omachinsky, but he was already into the zone. Brown steps in. Looks, drops it for Omachinsky. Omachinsky drags. Tries to make a shot, but good save there by Freiberger to stay aware of where he was at and got the second rebound.
Didn't give up any close quarters action for Riker Kane. Talked with him earlier in the day. Last game was his first game not scoring in over 5 games. He wanted to keep that goal streak and that point streak alive. Talked to him before the game, and he said, it's playoffs now. I got to restart that point streak and start getting it going.
Osman wins the draw back to Brown. Just missed the tip by Hightower. Out to the point. Pinnell keeps it in and feeds it over to Hightower. Hightower slides it to Brown. Drops it into the corner for Williams. Williams out in front. Has it taken away by the Badlers. Look out of the corner towards center, but it's kept in there. Hightower picks it up, takes a shot up front to Ossenmacher. Just couldn't get a stick on it. Ossenmacher still fighting for it in the corner. Kept in. Hightower turns over. Oh, nice idea there. Trying to get it back to Williams. Across the ice. Picked up by Pinnell. Pinnell down low. Dances around one. Out in front. Oh, good save by Freiberger. Pinnell made the move, but Freiberger got his pad out and stopped the puck. Going to have a face-off deep in the Toledo attacking zone. 3:34 to go here in the first period with the Mobsters 3, the Badlers 2. Ossenmacher on a draw, right back to Teeter. Teeter slides it in front, tipped high by Hightower. Williams looks for the play, tries to play it across, but just out. Duncan takes up the puck. Nice play there by Hightower on that. Had it knocked away. Brody up ice, off to Hightower. Hightower steps into the zone. He's got 2 with him. Tries to drop it, knocked away, but then picked up by Williams. Quick shot. Another good save by Freiberger. Quick on those pads he is.
Freiberger sticking the pads out nice and wide, being able to move them quick too.
Ossenmacher battling down there as well as Hightower. Cleared out of the zone by the Badlers, and this should be an icing. .247 to go here in the first period. Again, your Mobsters up 3-2 in Game 2 of the APHL playoffs.
You look at these top 2 lines. Prior to these 2 lines coming out, it was shots in favor of Mobsters 12-9. It's now 20 shots in favor of the Mobsters to 9.
Safarian wins the draw back to Teeter. Teeter's shot just wide. Back to the point, another opportunity. Rader plays it behind the net. Tries to get it to the corner. Played over from Swick. Swick to Rader. Kalkaska tries to clear the zone. Teeter rushes down the ice to pick up that stray puck. He turns, looks up ice. Just out of the reach of Safarian. Kalkaska maintains control in their own zone. Looks for the breakout all the way down. That should be an icing, and it will be blown down.
Speaking of Eric Safarian, his only APHL goal comes against this Kalkaska team earlier in the season on his birthday game where he got himself a Gordie Howe hat trick, pulling double duty out there, being both a goal scorer and a fighter.
Lutz on the draw. Bomey and Pfeiffer at wing. Kalkaska wins the draw and hits the breakout. Dumps it deep into the zone. Mahalik plays it behind the net. Picked up there and out of the zone. That was Lutz over to Bomey. Bomey steps into the zone. Tries to hit Lutz just out of his reach. Out of the corner comes Giblin around to his partner Chillman. Rush in here by Pfeiffer. Keeps the puck in but knocked away. Finally out to center comes Kalkaska. Steps into the zone. Draw back. Good save by Mahalik. Another save. It's on the side of the net. Whistle sound with 1:28 to go here in the first period. Toledo still up 3-2.
2 good shots there from Kalkaska. One coming from Will Holden. The other one coming from Gorzak. Both scoring massive amounts of goals yesterday. Both getting assists for each other yesterday as well.
Lutz ties his man up and throws the puck back into the corner. Austin Smith feeds it up through center all the way up to Pfeiffer. Looks for a breaking Bomey. Bomey steps into the zone. Tries to drag around the men and has it taken away. Kalkaska clears the zone but picked up by Pfeiffer at center ice. Tipped up to his brother Cameron. In the zone, Lutz had it, but it cleared out, so Toledo will have to tag up. Cleared the zone, taken by Lutz. Going to go for a quick line change here. Picked up center ice by Austin Smith. He tries to dance in. Bomey's there, has it knocked away high into the upper netting. Just 45 and 4/10 seconds left here in the first period. Toledo leads shots 20-10, but the most important score, 3-2 in goals. Kane on the draw. Giblin picks it up for Kalkaska, kept in there by Pinnell. Now fought for by Madrowski. Madrowski has it shot across the ice, picked up by Omachinski. Out past the point, picked up there by Brendan Pfeiffer. Brendan throws it up to Omachinski. Omachinski over to Kane. Knocked off of the puck. Takes a look. Fed back out to Madrowski. Madrowski shots kicked down. Chance of breakout here for the Battlers. Just out of his reach. Here comes Mahalik. A nice save by Mahalik. And another nice save up into the netting with just 8 seconds to go here in the first.
Two big saves out of Mahalik, both off of his blocker, coming really when you need it. A little jump that Austin Smith couldn't get up to. Gives a quick breakaway for a Kalkaska player, giving shots right at Mahalik.
And Mahalik did a nice job of staying in position. He came out of his crease to take down the angle. Worked out perfectly for the Mobsters. Assenmacher's thrown out of the circle. That'll bring in Hightower for the draw. Hightower wins the draw. Back. Knocked out. Oh, here's a chance. There's going to be a trip at the end of the period. Assenmacher was taken down. So Mobsters will go on the power play to start the second period for 2 minutes. At the end of at the end of one, it's 3-2, heading to 2. Shots for Toledo, 21. For the Battlers, 11. Score at the end of 2, 3-2. We'd like to thank our sponsors of Toledo Mobster Hockey. That's Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballas Buick GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodman of America, Twiggs Hockey Advisors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ Res Q, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed, Bulldog Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, E&K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts.
We would also like to send one more big thank you across to our rink announcer today, Justin Myers, always out here 95% of the time, unless this kid has, a tournament going on. But quite a few goals coming out of Toledo, quite a few also coming out of Kalkaska. 5-goal period. Probably not as good as our 6-7 goal period yesterday in the second, but a 5-goal period, it's quite a hot game right now.
But we're not to the second period, and we could have 6 to 7 goals in the second period, so we'll soon find out. Again, we thank you for joining us here for APHL Hockey, the Governor's Cup, Game 2, Toledo up 3-2. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, Toledo Mobster fans, for the second period of Game 2 of the Governor's Cup. 20 minutes to go here in the second. Toledo will start out on a power play.
The late period trip coming from Austin Giblin, right as time expired, giving Toledo a nice power play. We talk about their penalty kill. They're great on that. Their power play is even stronger.
Face off won by the Badlers. Chillman takes it back behind the net. Long down ice pass. Out of reach of everyone. Picked up back here by Brody Duncan. Duncan brings it up through center and drops it back for Hightower. Hightower races in. Looks towards Williams. Williams picks it up, 3 high. Off to Duncan, center, shot, just off with a glove. Pinnell picks it up behind the net. Played along the boards where Hightower picks it up, has it knocked away briefly, down into the corner to Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher steps out, tries the backhand. Shot down to Mahalik behind the net. Brought in by Pinnell. Drops it back to Williams. Sets up a power play. Shot right on net. Loose in front. Ossenmacher knocks it away over to Pinnell. Pinnell tries to drag and has it knocked off his stick. Kalaska shoots it back down, killing more of the time. Still 40 seconds to go here in the power play. Picked up at center by Bomey. Circles back around, looks at Duncan, up the ice. Reese Bomey steps into the zone, has it passed to him from Williams. Bomey behind the net. Over to Pfeiffer. 3 high again. Pfeiffer over to Duncan. Duncan takes a look. Throws it towards the net and knocked down by Kalaska. Mahalik comes out to play the puck. Just 13 seconds of power play time left. Duncan picks it up to come in. Knocked away. Mahalik will play that, and that'll end the power play for the Mobsters. Pinnell feeds it up. Knocked away by Kalaska. Mahalik makes a quick save and clears the zone. Tipped ahead by Lutz. Be played back here by Freiberger behind the net. Picked up by Pfeiffer. Good play. Right in front. Kalaska picks it up and breaks out. Cross center. Pushed wide by Brody Duncan. Picked up as well by Lutz. Back into the corner, and Trevor Pinnell will pick that up, feed it up to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer takes a look into the zone. Cross center, lets it go. Just wide. Played along the boards by Lutz. Lutz dumps it back to Bomey. Bomey down there behind the net. Over to Pinnell in the corner. Towards the center of the slot. Knocked away. It'll be played out to center ice, where Brennan Pfeiffer plays it over to Pinnell. Pinnell looks into the zone. Feed over to Cam Pfeiffer. Shot saved by Freiberger. 16:50 to go in the second period. Toledo up 3-2.
Not quite the power play you wanted out of Toledo there. Looked a little slow, looking like they're a little sluggish coming back off the bench. I know in between periods we had some of our rink boys running around trying to get mustard for some of the players who were having some cramps. Multiple games in the same weekend, especially for some of these top-end players, causing some wear and tear.
It's always tough back-to-back. And there's a nice job by number 73, Patrick Madrowski. Freiberger gave up the first shot rebound, and on the back door was Madrowski. Just picks it up, backhand into the net. Toledo up 4-2.
Riker Kane there to put the shot right off the pads to get it over to Pat Madrowski. Madrowski with a pretty little backhand right over the glove. Quite a shot from the man who wasn't here yesterday, who was a scratch yesterday, comes into the lineup today, gives quite a goal prowess.
Pfeiffer over to Teeter. knocked away by the Battlers into the zone. Teeter picks it up, knocked ahead, up to Madrowski, into the zone for Kane. Just offsides.
Riker Kane just overskating the puck there. Had it caught up in his feet, couldn't quite get his stick down to get it out of his feet.
16:20 to go here in the second period. Toledo up 4-2. Shots 25-11. Williams on the draw. Kalkaska wins. Heim picks the puck up and over to Chillman for the Kalkaska. Out to center ice, picked up by Teeter. Teeter throws it off the boards but has it intercepted. Chance here for Kalkaska as they dance through the ice, just off the glove or blocker of Mahalik up over the net. Cleared out of the zone, played there by Kalkaska. Heim picks the puck up and looks up ice, and that'll be an icing. Up, waved off. Here's a chance still behind the net. Knocked away by Hightower. Played up aboard by Pfeiffer, but Kalkaska recovers. Williams picks the puck up. Lobs it out to center ice. Picked up there by Heim for Kalkaska as he looks up center ice. Knocked ahead, but back to the stick of Hightower. Now Ossenmacher picks it up and carries in. Fed over to Williams. Nice save by Freiberger. Pfeiffer puts it low. Pfeiffer has it at the point. Over to the side. Have to laugh on that one. The referees signal him for a penalty, and it was actually the linesman raised his hand, and it's like, I can't make that call.
I do believe that was a linesman today, Troy Bowes, who raised his arm, thinking he was trying to call the penalty for a high stick. Instead, it's a high stick. In general, keeps it in the zone.
Well, the high stick was going through the air. Knocked down by Brown at center ice, but a break here for Kalkaska. It's goal. That's number 25. That's Channing Gorsuch. Gorsuch's had a big weekend here for Kalkaska. Brings it a little closer at 4-3. 14:48 to go in the second period. Toledo up 4-3, but a quick goal there by Channing Gorsuch brings it that much closer.
You lose the puck out there just a touch, and you find a little space in between Mahalik's glove and his pad. Gorsuch just getting its breakaway shots, having himself a few goals yesterday, gets his first one of the day.
Well, Gorsuch's speed's been a changer, and what happened there was Brown just fumbled the attempt to play it to center ice, and it was gone. Duncan goes back to pick the puck up deep in the Mobster zone.
There's some pushing and shoving there. That's from number 17, Gavin Duffing. Duffing is, I talked with him earlier, he got quite a few penalties yesterday. He is kind of hot-headed when it comes to some stuff. He'll try and get under your skin. He took a 10-minute misconduct for staying on the ice too long against Austin Smith. So you have too much happening for him to try and keep getting these penalties. You're down in the game. You have to keep players on the ice.
Well, Pfeiffer is having a little discussion with him because Pfeiffer took exception to the fact that number 17, Duffing, had his stick between his legs the whole time they were backing up. It looked like Pfeiffer was chasing him, but Duffing had his stick between his legs, dragging him along.
Not a player you would think to see wanting to fight, Cam Pfeiffer. Not normally a fighter out there, but he was trying to go after Duffing there.
No, I don't think Pfeiffer was skating away from it in any sense of the word, but quick discussion by the assistant captain Heim for Kalkaska on what the ruling was there. It's going to be a 4-on-4 situation. Duncan picks it up for Toledo. Down behind the net, in front, quick chance, knocked away, back to Duncan. Shot, goal by Brody Duncan. 5-3 Mobsters.
You talk about those deadly 4-on-4 situations. Brody Duncan receiving the faceoff, coming around behind Freiberger's net, getting his open opportunity, and putting one in about the best place you could have for a shot.
Well, Duncan picked that puck up off the draw, went down behind the net, got it over to Lutz. Lutz gave it right back to him, and Duncan just stepped out and sniped the goalie. Freiberger for a 5-3 lead for the Mobsters. 14-17 to go here in the second period. Toledo up by 2. Lutz carries the puck up into the zone, feeds it over to Williams. Williams plays it over. It's taken away by Giblin behind the net. Up through center ice, and that'll be an icing call.
It's unfortunate there for Giblin. He had a Kalkaska player skating all the way across ice, trying to get it there, just can't quite find the player's skate. Forces an icing and forces some tired legs out there.
Reset the game for you. 13:53 to go in the second period. Toledo up 5-3. 121 of 4-on-4 hockey to go. Faceoff was won by Toledo all the way down to their own zone. Brody picks it up from behind the net over to Ossenmacher. Center ice is Caleb Williams. He steps in all alone, steps around the man. Tied up there nicely by Giblin for Kalkaska. Kalkaska carries it up out of the zone, dumps it in. Duncan will play it over to Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher looks up ice, hits Pinnell as he steps into the zone. Free chance here for Pinnell. Steps around, another opportunity. Big save by Freiberger, and back in.
Kicked it in off the pad of Freiberger. Freiberger stretching those pads out on that long wraparound attempt, getting twisted and turned around again. And Pinnell just puts it right off the pad of Freiberger, almost as one of those rebound machines for you.
And it was because Pinnell went wide for the shot, came off the stick. He picked it up behind the red line, behind the net, and played it right off of the pads and in. It's 6-3 with 13 to go. 13-10 to go in the second period. Toledo now comes up double the score is 6-3. Face-off won by Hightower, deep into the zone. Back to play, it's Austin Smith. Smith around the boards for Pfeiffer. Tips it to center ice. Picked up there by the Badlers. Badlers look up ice. That called onside. I have a question about that, but it was Mahalik with the pad save. Pfeiffer chases it down on the far boards. Picked up in front by the Badlers, and behind is Pfeiffer. Plays it up the sides to himself. Takes a look and does not clear the zone. Kept in nicely by the Badlers. Here's a chance, knocked down by Mahalik with his glove side. Up to Ossenmacher. Into Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer with the shot. Save. Just around the outside of the net. Brennan Pfeiffer up to the point, over to Hightower. Hightower back to Pfeiffer, and it's in his jersey. It's in his arm.
Little disappearing puck trick. You talk about it in baseball, the disappearing ball trick, getting players out. Pfeiffer just hiding it away in that white jersey, trying to make sure, hey, I'm just going to skate it away. He should have probably gone and dove into the net, but he moves it out, and it'll be another face-off.
Caught up in the armpit, never felt it, and skated out of the zone, so it was out of the zone. Kane wins the draw, over to Way. Back into the zone, but recovered there by Heim. Heim over to Chillman. Back into the zone. It's a free puck for Toledo. Picked up there by Kane. Tries to get it over to Omachinski. That's Madurski. Madrowski over there and whistled down as it was frozen on the bench. $11:49 to go, second period. Toledo 6, Kalkaska 3. Draw won by Kalkaska, back behind the net. Up the sideboards, out to center ice. Kalkaska breaks in. Pinnell with the chance, played across by Kalkaska, but Way picks it up and carries out of the zone. Trying to hit Omachinski, just out of his reach, but now in comes the chance now. That's Madrowski, I'm sorry.
Pat Madrowski there, looking to have that quick shot, kind of funneling in behind Way when he came into the zone. Just gets the puck tipped up and over into the netting. He already has a goal for himself today. He was looking for a second.
11:25 to go in the second. Toledo 6, Kalkaska 3. Shots are 30-15. We've doubled them up on the scoreboard. We've doubled them up on shots. Mobsters on the draw. Good draw there by Toledo. Right off of the pads of Freiberger. Kalkaska breaks it out of the zone, carries in. Out of the corner, Toledo clears the zone. Not far enough for an icing, so Kalkaska will have to regroup. Giblin from the sideboards tries to play it up. It's recovered there by Duncan. Duncan looks across center. There he is. Hightower off to Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher hard in with the press. Chance in front for Hightower. There's Ossenmacher in the crease. Cleared out by the Badlers. Dumped in deep. Mahalik plays it. Wraps it around for Ossenmacher along the sideboards. Clears the zone. All the way back to their own line where Giblin picks it up and skates into the zone. Mahalik plays it behind the net. Takes his options. Clears it, but off to the Badlers. In the corner, that is brought to the point and kept in. Point from the Badlers. Chance to the side, just missed that tip. In the corner's Duncan. Duncan wraps it around for Hightower, and Hightower picks it up behind the net. Over to Duncan. Up to Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher to center ice to Williams. Williams carries in and has it stolen away, but right back to Hightower. Off the player for Kalkaska and into the corner. Pressure by Williams and Hightower for the Mobsters. Out in front of the net. Bad play there as the D steps in, takes his chance. Cleared out of the zone. Duncan goes back to pick up the puck. Plays it across center for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer steps into the zone. Brown coming with him. Brown picks the puck up in the corner. Pfeiffer cuts the man off in the deep corner. Going to have a cross check on Kalkaska. Toledo controls it. Lutz takes the shot. Chance. There's Brown with the shot. Wide. Picked up by Pfeiffer. With the extra man comes on for Toledo. Number 15 is going to get the penalty. It's a straight cross check, but he's kind of arguing it for us. Heim
saying, I didn't touch him. He fell soft. It was quite a good cross check there. One of those that you'll feel the next morning. Now, coming off of that, Matt Mahalik, almost like he was lightly jogging to the bench. You see most goalkeepers on a full sprint. Nice light jog, conserve the energy. It's a close game. Maybe get the extra man out there for a couple seconds, but it's a close game. Get the light draw. They are giving a second one to number 18 for an unsportsmanlike. I think they're giving him a 10 for shooting the puck well up after the whistle had already gone.
Yeah, that's one of the things that most of the officials will take exception to is they waved it off. They waved off the misconduct. All they're saying is don't show up to referees.
Referees have that final say, have that final decision, just like in baseball. You show up an umpire, he's likely to throw you out of the game.
And that's what they're discussing right now. Yeah, apparently it was a 2 and a 10 after further discussion. Face-off will be deep in the Mobster zone as they're attacking with 9:02 to go. Score 6-3. Power play situation for the Mobsters. Pfeiffer brings it out to the point to his brother Brendan. Pfeiffer picks it up there. Back to his brother. Crossed ice. Trying to hit Omachinsky. Mahalik picks the puck up. Drops it there for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer sets up behind the net.
You talk about the penalty situation. We weren't quite sure. It was Matt Heim catching that 10-minute misconduct penalty.
Bomey had that puck knocked away as he went to take the shot along the sideboards on the far side of the ice. Picked up there by Toledo. Let's fight for it just out of the reach of Nate Brown. That was Reese Bomey at the point. Mahalik comes back, plays it up to Bomey. Bomey steps up, carries it into the zone. Looks along the sideboards. Left there for Williams behind the net. Williams picks it up. Surveys it just out of the reach of Pfeiffer at the crease. Pfeiffer steps around, takes a quick shot. Blocker save by Freiberger. Picked up on the far side by Williams. Williams surveys the play, takes the shot. Save Freiberger. Save on Pfeiffer's shot. Cleared by the Battlers down the ice, and Mahalik will play it right back up the ice. There's Pfeiffer, and they called it offsides. 7:32 to go in the second period. Toledo 6, Kalkaska 3, 31 seconds of power play time for the Mobsters.
Other games in the APHL right now. Summit City Distillers right now just started the game against their second game against Iron City. They had a massive win yesterday. I believe it was 10-0.
Pinnell picks the puck up for Toledo, feeds it over to Brody Duncan. Brody steps out of the zone, crosses center ice. Into the offensive zone for Toledo. Pressure behind the net. Nice feed over to Williams. Williams feeds it over to Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher takes a look towards Williams one time, just off the side. Freiberger reaches back and saves it for the face-off. 5 seconds remaining on the power play for Toledo, but still up 6-3 with 7:06 to go here in the second period.
Watch for the quick out-of-the-box play here.
Drawn back to Pinnell. Pinnell throws it to the sideboards for Williams. Williams takes the shot, but off to the side where it was shot there by Pinnell. Pinnell back to Duncan at the point. Duncan has it. Cleared out. Hightower picks it up at center ice. Duncan back for the feed. Long aboards to Pinnell. Pinnell takes a look. Steps in. Was trying to hit Ossenmacher, but had it stolen away. Kalkaska makes a break in. Shot. Kicked wide by, Mahalik. Out to the point. Wrapped around deep into the zone. Back behind the net. Toledo plays it. Tied up there. Far side. Hightower with the pressure. Pinnell picks the puck up. Throws it over to the near side boards where Ossenmacher has it. That's an icing by Ossenmacher.
Ossenmacher, they're just looking for Williams. Couldn't quite find it into his feet. Sending a really, really hard shot. Just hadn't crossed the red line yet, forcing the icing all the way back down.
Face-off here will be by Ossenmacher with Williams and Hightower on the crease side. One by the Battlers. Chance here, knocked down Played off to the stick of Hightower over across the ice for Williams. Williams plays it back. Picked up there by Brody Duncan. Duncan crosses center ice and dumps it in behind Freiberger. Pressure there by Williams. Has it stolen away, knocked loose, but comes out to center ice. Teeter picks it up, looks into the zone. Steps, takes a little shot, knocked wide. Ossenmacher will pick it up and play it out to Williams. Williams drops it for Duncan. Has it stolen away. 3-on-2 situation for Kalkaska. Shot high off of the stick of Williams and out of play. 5:23 to go in the second. 6-3. Shots for Toledo, 36-16 for Kalkaska.
Not something you often see out of Brody Duncan, losing the puck up at that board battle, giving away a 3-on-2 opportunity. Williams getting back, just getting the stick into the zone, putting it over Mahalik. It was Will Holden who's got himself a couple goals today, or in this series.
Face-off won by Toledo as they came straight ahead. It'll be knocked out of play, off the stick, so no delay. Again, the face-off is deep in the Kalkaska zone. Draw will be taken here for Toledo. Oh, chance for Kalkaska. Good battle by Mahalik to knock it into the corner. Up along Giblin, has it taken away. 3 Toledo players break out. Here's Madrowski. Long of boards. Omachinski goes into the corner and plays the body. Breakout for Kalkaska. Pfeiffer on the pressure. Forces him wide off the backhand. There's Pfeiffer again, but has it taken away by Kalkaska. Kane regains control. Throws it over to his defensive partner, Teeter. Teeter puts it up to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer up to Omachinski. Omachinski drops it for Kane. Give back. Madrowski picks it up, takes it behind the net. Just out of the reach of Pennell there. Down now with the Pennell in the corner. Out front, just off the stick of Pfeiffer. They rush back as Pennell picks it up. Kane with another quick shot. Kalkaska struggling to get it out of the zone at this very second.
Look for Kalkaska to start getting very physical here. We already saw it start. We'll see here in a second as Toledo picks up a penalty. Look for it to get even more physical. Look for the bodies to start to fly.
It's going to be an interference call. It looks like on Pfeiffer. It was the initial signal. Nope, it was on Pennell. I seen that 4, but I didn't see the 3 in front of it. So Trevor Pennell will get a 2-minute interference call. Toledo goes on the power play, or as we refer to it,
the power kill here. Toledo's power kill already has 1 tonight. We'll see if they can get that second goal.
Williams on the draw. Won by the Badlers, out to the point. Shot saved by Mahalik. Knocked down. We've got another penalty.
And it's a second. It's going to be a cross check going to Justin Way. Way coming in behind, hitting number 16. That's Brendan Rainey. Just giving him a nice shot to the back. It's unfortunate. You had a good opportunity to clear the puck out. You didn't need to hit him, but you give up a penalty.
Crucial situation for the Mobsters. 5-on-3 situation for the next minute 45. Up 6-3. Chance to put this game away if they can close this out. Nice save by Mahalik. Takes the puck, buries it in his chest. 134 on the first penalty, minute 49 on the second. 3:27 to go in the third. Toledo up 6-3.
If you're Mahalik, you just want to slow things down. Give your team a second to breathe. Take the extra moment if you have the puck.
Kalkaska wins the draw. Pressure there by Williams. Across the point. Nice play there by Hightower to feed it around, but Badlers pick it up off the boards. End of the corner. Good triangle D here. Chance, nice play by Mahalik to slide across. Out of the zone for the Mobsters. Minute 6 to go on the 5-on-3 situation. Kalkaska looks up ice, brings it in across center and into the zone. Shot wide. Hightower there to try to play the puck. Tied up over to the far side, point shot, knocked down. That's Brody Duncan. Up the sideboards, Kalkaska gains control. To the point, back to the sideboards. Steps out, take a chance to take a view. There's the shot, wide of the net. Another chance over the far side, one-timer, goal. That's number 25. I think that's Channing Gorsuch again with another goal. That makes it 6-4. 2:21 to go in the second period. The first penalty to come off. It'll still be a 5-on-4 situation with Toledo down. A goal.
Gorzik loading up a one-timer there. You just got to play the puck across back and forth and back and forth. You'll get the goaltender to move. Mahalik making a couple great saves in that span. You just got to find a way to put the puck in the back of the net, and Channing Gorzak did that.
That he did. Toledo down a man. Still up 6-4 on the scoreboard. 40 seconds to kill. Here's a chance for Lutz. Steps in, steals the puck. Freiberger ties it up and will take a draw.
Action from one end to the other. A full 200-foot game right now. You're seeing shots after shots after shots coming from both of these sides. Talking with the owner of the brand new Motor City Muskies yesterday, he said it's not often in a playoff game you see 80 shots overall. 46 coming from Toledo, 34 coming from Kalkaska yesterday. It just shows at points how fast the game can be moving and how often Toledo can get shots off and how often Kalkaska can get their breakouts.
Now, there's 2 quick shots while you were talking there by Toledo, and we're already just shy of 60 shots in this game with still a whole period to play. So 1:56 to go in the second period. Toledo up 6-4, 18 seconds of penalty kill. Draw to the Badlers. They step out of the zone. Brought in by Channing Gorsuch. Knocked away. Played there by Hightower to the far boards. Lutz picks it up. Hits Hightower. Coming up the far side. That's Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer with a chance. Has it come off his stick. Good chance in front. Beautiful goal.
That Pfeiffer connection, being able to find a way in that corner to get it out. Chris Lutz just putting a nice 5-hole shot. That'll be the end of Freiberger's night. Out comes number 45, Everett Bailey. Bailey out there tonight. Played a good game yesterday. Granted, he gave up 9 goals in it, but played a very good game yesterday. But that's the end of Freiberger's night.
Austin Giblin just skated off the ice into the locker room. I think he's in search of another stick. He turned his stick into splinters after that goal.
A little bit of anger got the best of Austin Giblin there. It was his man out there that put in the goal from Chris Lutz.
1:28 to go, 7-4 Mobsters. Second period. Face-off will be deep in the Kalkaska zone, attacking zone.
Lutz, a pickup from yesterday, wasn't with the team yesterday. Scores lots of goals when he is with the team, just isn't with the team as often.
Will Davis back here in the corner, plays it up. Comes up the sideboards, throws it back to Pfeiffer behind the net. Chance here. Bomey steps around.
And we'll have a fight. It's going to be Pfeiffer. Not a guy you see often throwing hands. It's against Duffing. Duffing with the right. Pfeiffer throwing him down. Pfeiffer, known for his timid play, per se, but showing he's a physical brute out there when he needs to. He gives the Johnny Bonta salute as he skates off, the former line mate of Johnny. Skates off. You know him and Duffing had talked about it prior when they both were in the box. It finally got to that boiling point, and Pfeiffer delivers.
Good pressure there by Pfeiffer on the body, down low in a corner. Duffing took exception, said, "Do you want to go?" And the gloves came off. 57 and 4/10 seconds to go in the second period. Toledo up 7-4. Shots 39, Toledo 40. Shots 39 for Toledo, 20 by the Badlers. Puck loose along the sideboards. Safarian picks it up, takes a shot, saved by Freiberger. Out of play. Take a face-off with 44 seconds to go here in the second period.
Steven Swick and Eric Safarian there blowing each other up. Quite a moment there for both players. Eric Safarian, though, not often a player you see giving shots.
Safarian on the draw. Badlers pick it up, play along the sideboards, try to clear the zone. Kept in there by Safarian. Steps back in. Shot, save. Rader along the boards for the pressure. Now played up by Duncan. Duncan at the point, steps into the zone, steps around. Two players, picks it up deep in the corner. There's a chance for Rader. Back in front towards Safarian, up the sideboards. Picked up at center ice by Toledo. That's Pinnell. Just out of the reach of Swick, and that's the end of the period. End of two. Toledo 7, Kalkaska 4. One period away from moving on in the APHL playoffs Governor's Cup.
Looking ahead, should the Mobsters win this game, they'll take on Buffalo in Buffalo. If Kalkaska wins, they will also take on Buffalo in Buffalo. But you've got quite a good period there. Not as about the same amount of goals. Actually, the exact same amount of goals. You got a 5-goal period again. It was a good movement out there from the Mobsters that propelled them through this period. We'll see how the third period action goes. You know there will be some physicality out there from Kalkaska. You know you'll have Mobsters players trying to battle and keep things intact. If you can keep things intact in front of your net, if Mahala can step up, make some big saves, you move on in the playoffs.
That's the challenge ahead of us with one period to go. Your Mobsters are up 7-4 over the Kalkaska Badlers. We'd like to thank the sponsors of Toledo Mobster Hockey. And those sponsors are Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballast Buick GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodman of America, Twiggs Hockey Advisors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ Rescue, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed, Bulldog Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, E&K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts. Again, that's the end of the second period of Game 2 of the Governor's Cup APHL playoffs. Toledo 7, Kalkaska 4. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, fans, for the third period of APHL playoff hockey, Governor's Cup hockey between the Toledo Mobsters and the Kalkaska Battlers. 20 minutes to go in this game. Toledo up 7-4. As we head into the third period. Caleb Williams on the draw, won by Kalkaska. Giblin plays it back to Chilman. Up the boards. Tries to break out through center just off of the stick there for Kalkaska, but they get it into the zone. Quick feed through the crease. Knocked down by Toledo. Picked up by Giblin, but stolen right back away. Back to Chilman.
You watched at the end of the period, Everett Bailey had to come into the game. You look across the boards, Zach Freiberger no longer on the bench at all.
Could be a little frustration.
I do in fact believe I saw him walking out with his bags and gear earlier.
Toledo tries to clear the zone. Asemacher picks it up, backhands it, but knocked back into the zone by the Battlers. Asemacher will get an elbow call here as he tried to slow the Battler down. $18:57 to go in the third period. Toledo up 7-4, but will go down a man with the elbowing call to Asemacher. He actually claimed it was a cross check, not an elbow, but
Whatever floats his boat, it was a high hit towards the head. It easily could have been an elbow, a cross check, a hit to the head even. But it will be 2 minutes. Up on the board if they can get it up.
and they didn't get it. But we said 18:57, so it should be at 16:57. Off the post, Williams clears it out of the zone. Battlers put it deep into their zone. They set up behind the net. Heim played it out to Chilman. Chilman steps across center ice into the zone. Tipped there for Heim. Back behind the net, it's Mahalik. He actually plays it out to the zone, to center ice. Hightower over to Williams. Williams steps into the zone. Shots wide. Chilman picks it up. Picked off there by Hightower. Right back to Williams. Shot high over the net. Chilman just chips it back to Heim. Sets up behind the net. Through center ice is the Kalkaska Battlers. Wide shot. Oh, water bottle bopper. Goal for Kalkaska. 7-5 game. 17:36 to go. Nice shot there by number 25 for Kalkaska, and that's Channing Gorsuch. That's at least his second of the game, if not the third.
I believe that's Gorsuch's third. Honestly, nothing better you could have done out of that. You find that very, very top corner to pop the bottle of Matt Mahalik. More power to you.
It was a beautiful shot. Released very quickly. Face-off, center ice, Lutz wins the draw. Played by Smith. Over to Pfeiffer along center ice. Kalkaska will pick it up. Recovered the puck by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer goes behind the net, starts the breakout. Up through the zone. Cross center ice. Charges in. Sideboards, dumps it in deep for Lutz. Lutz is back there and picks the puck up. Dances back to the sideboards, out to the point for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer drops it back to Lutz. Lutz over to Smith. Smith feeds it back to Lutz and just misses that pass. Smith over to Pfeiffer. Just out of the reach of Bomey there. Picked up his Lutz. Tip in front. Picked up by Bomey. Out to the point for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer plays it down low again. Will be picked up over there by Lutz. Lutz along the boards.
Getting a little more chippy out there, as you can see from them all.
Badlers get a shot wide of the net, kept in the zone. Madrowski with a nice hit along the boards. He'll be able to pick it up here at center ice. Carries into the zone, flips the shot on net. Drops the puck for Giblin. Giblin takes it around behind the net, up through center ice. Here's another chance by Gorsick. Right on Mahalik. Mahalik able to eat that one with 16:04 to go. 7-5 Mobsters.
Behind the play on each side, you saw a couple big hits down in the Kalkaska zone. Coming back all the way across, you saw some slight pushing, shoving from Christensen and Smith, resulting in nothing overall.
Chillman keeps the puck in. Chance for Badlers. Ooh, big chance there for the Badlers. Nice play by Mahalik. Carried out here by Brody Duncan. Back to Hightower to Duncan, and that's going to be a tripping penalty. It's a multi-car accident down there behind the net. Duncan is down. Hightower went over the top of Heim.
Duncan absolutely destroyed when it came to that trip. Lands hard into the boards. The shocking one was Heim goes down as well, right behind Duncan. It looked like he then tripped up Clay Hightower into it.
Nice thing is, looks like everybody's up and skating away from the accident scene. 15:42 to go in the third period. Toledo with a face-off deep in their zone. Looks like the draw will be taken here by Hightower. It'll be taken by Ossenmacher with Hightower and Williams on the wings. Up high off a glass, down the boards. Trying to kill some of the power play here. Controlled back there by Pennell. Pennell's got the puck and skates out towards the zone, drops it for Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer back behind the net. Nice spin move by Pfeiffer as he looks up ice. Crosses center and into the zone. Offsides by Ossenmacher by a step.
Ossenmacher just unable to hold his movement there at the line, trying to get in just with an extra chance. Pfeiffer with a good move down at the other end. A big spin move around Gorzak. Just can't get there fast enough to beat Ossenmacher.
15:14 to go here in the third period. Toledo up 7-5 on the power play with still 1:28 to go. Behind the net, Giblin tries to play it out, knocked down nicely by Pfeiffer. Works to keep the puck in the zone. Williams battling back here behind the net on Chillman. Badlers clear it on net to Mahalik. He takes it, looks up ice. Throws it around the Hightower on the near boards. Out to center. There for Pfeiffer. Drops it for Pennell. Pennell skates him in between two. And a goal! Beautiful play by Pennell. Nice passing play all the way out of the zone by Pfeiffer. Dropped it for Pennell. Pennell picks it up, skates between two players. Goal. Mobsters.
Trevor Pennell with his hat trick on the night. You've seen him all throughout the night hit that quick little dangle, put it between the goalie's legs, or bounce it off the goalie after that dangle. He's moving, the offensive-minded defenseman, making plays out there for Toledo when they need it the most.
14:35 to go here in the third period. Toledo up 8-5. Draw was won by Toledo. It's back to Teeter, who sets it up behind the net. Out to center, tipped there by Kane. Oh, bad fall there as he was trying to stay out of the way of the goalie. Duncan slides it over to Pennell. Out to center ice. Pressure. Duncan picks it up. Skates out of the zone. Shoots it into his own bench.
Looked like Brody Duncan might have been just a little bit angry at Coach Getzinger there, firing the puck straight into his own bench.
13:58 to go in the third. Toledo up 8-5. Skating back. Duncan and Heim were having a little conversation.
Definitely discussing where the best places to eat here in Toledo are.
I'm thinking that's probably not what it was. Shot there by the Battlers. Saved by Mahalik. Into the corner. Another chance. Off Mahalik. Duncan picks it up. Throws it out to center. Kept down by Heim at center. But nice play as well by Reese Bomey. Up to Lutz. Into the zone. Oh, big chance for Pfeiffer. Nice save. Clears the zone. Back in comes Lutz. Lutz with the puck. Drops it off. Pfeiffer. Save.
Pfeiffer getting his head out of fighting mode. He just came out from that 5-minute fight. Getting his head now into, okay, I've got to put another goal up. We've got to close this game out.
Yeah, I think we're looking at a lot of that with Toledo right now. They're getting a little excited about what can happen if they do finish this game out, and we're going to take a look at that real quick. Up through center comes the Battlers. Flips it up. Off the ceiling. Center ice.
Not quite what you want to see out of a Kalkaska player. Having an open opportunity, tries to chip it into the zone, gets too much of it. Really could have just taken his time, held the puck at the blue line, and gone through.
13:10 to go here in the third period. Toledo up 8-5. Toledo puts pressure deep into the zone. Played back by Lutz along the boards, but stolen by Kalkaska. Kalkaska breaks out across center, dumps it in. Way on his way back to pick it up. Along the boards, Battlers pick it up, knocked loose in front. Be covered there by Reese Bomey. Bad situation there, Reese. You don't want to cut through the front of the net, but gets the puck back and carries it in, dumps it. Goes for a quick change. Kalkaska behind the net sets their play up.
Reese Bomey, a mid-season pickup, has himself a couple goals this season. A solid get the puck in, be a little bit of a menace, kind of like Dominic Cole was. Just be a menace out there. Get yourself into positions to pick up penalties against you.
Pfeiffer behind the net, picks it up, drops it off to Hightower, over to Williams. Williams takes a look, tries to flip it over the net to Pfeiffer, out to Pinnell. Pinnell takes a look. Shot, save. Behind the net, Battlers pick it up to the far sideboards. Looks up towards center ice. Knocked down by a high stick, but played by Kalkaska. Pinnell picks it up. Into the zone, rushes. Dumps it into the corner and goes for a change himself. Giblin looks up through center, has it knocked down. Nate Brown picks it up, plays it ahead, deep into the zone. Austin Giblin will set it up for Kalkaska. Out to center ice, knocked down there by Brown again. Up along the boards, past Ossenmacher to Hightower. Picked up by the Battlers. Stolen by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer into the zone. Skates around, drops it off for Williams. Williams stays high. Takes a look at that point. Dances around, eats some time off of the clock. Plays it off of the boards for the Battlers, and then Nate Brown picks it right back up, throws to Williams. Williams tips it ahead to Pfeiffer, which plays it up to Ossenmacher. Ossenmacher deep into the corner. Pfeiffer lets it slide by, and as Brown plays it there, comes out to center ice. Williams is back to pick it up. Williams steps up through center ice, will drop it in for Hightower. Hightower picks it up on the sideboards, around behind the net. Played back there by Williams. Williams right in front, had it knocked away. Here comes a chance for the Battlers. It's coming hard. Good job by Mahalik off the sides on the second chance for the Badlers. Brown picks it up, skates up hard out of the zone, into the zone, and it's going to be offsides as he lost control of the puck.
Rainey with a good breakaway for Kalkaska, coming in and getting a good shot in, a rebound flying out for Will Holden that Mahalik had no idea where it went, just barely squeaking past, going into the side netting. Good save from Mahalik. Toledo's starting to get lucky with goals not flying in.
They're going to have to tighten down because you can feel the pressure from Kalkaska picking up. They can feel the pressure of this game coming down to either we score or our season ends. So here's a chance for Toledo as Brody Duncan skated in, had it taken off his stick, kept in there by Madrowski, taken back away from by the Badlers, dumped in deep. Mahalik plays it behind the net, up the boards, tipped over, picked up there by Kane. Kane steps into the zone and drops off from Madrowski. Nice shot just above the crossbar. Going to have a penalty here. Penalty is going to be against Zach Skog, number 18.
Skog getting a little bit unlucky. Matt Omashinsky, a lighter guy out there, a little unlucky with how he hit him. It still was a penalty. But against a bigger guy like Nate Brown or Dennis Ossenmacher, you don't really get that to happen.
Well, I think part of it, too, was that basically 3-foot rule that the referees apply. He was 3 foot away from the board and when the hit happened, and he flew into the board, so there's going to make that call every time. Draw one by the Mobsters to Duncan. Duncan back to the sideboards for Williams. Shot knocked down by the shin pads. Back out to Duncan. Duncan down low to Ossenmacher. Back to Williams up high. Nice save there for Kalkaska. Giblin picks it up for the Badlers. Along the boards in the corner. Fought for there by Omachinsky and Ossenmacher. That's actually Pinnell and Ossenmacher over there. Pinnell comes out with the puck. Off the boards to Williams at the point. Williams back to Pinnell. Skates around. Down low for Ossenmacher. Another chance. Nice chance for Hightower. Out to the point for Toledo. Pinnell over. Shot wide of the net. Knocked down ice by the Badlers.
We talk about other games in the league right now. Currently up 4-0 in the second period is the Summit City Distillers against the Iron City Forge.
Kalkaska picks it up at center ice. Pressured back by the Mobsters. Into their own zone, up through center ice. Picked up by Williams. Waits until they're on sides. Williams carries in and rags some time off of the clock. Off to Duncan. Over to the Omachinsky. Out to the point. Picked up there. Taken down deep by Duncan. Duncan wraps around. Tries to push it out front for Williams. Kept in by Ossenmacher at the point. Badlers knock it down. Out of the zone. Ossenmacher throws it over to Duncan. Duncan carries it up to the center. In chance for Toledo. Again, Williams tried to go over the net from behind to get it there. Duncan keeps it in. Duncan steps around towards center ice. Chance there for Hightower. Had it knocked down. Here's a chance for Madrowski. Long of boards, cleared out. Duncan, good defensive position. Nice spin move by the Badlers in the zone, but Duncan clears the zone. Out to center ice. Toledo wants to put the pressure on here, but at the same time play good defensive hockey to stay ahead. Chance for the Badlers, 2-on-1. Knocked wide there by Mahalik. Knocked down in front by Pfeiffer. Chance for Kalkaska. Bomey skates by the puck. Out of the corner comes the Badlers. Out to the point to Chilman. Chilman throws it wide of the net. Off the near boards is Heim. Out of the corner comes Pfeiffer. Skates into the center of the ice. clears the zone. They're going to wave it off as saying it was tipped. He had the body hit as he went to play it. Kalkaska battles to clear the zone. Chillman takes the puck deep. Comes wide. Center ice. That'll be an icing call. Going to be an icing with 16:12 to go in the game. 8-5 Toledo over Kalkaska. Shots 46-25, and we're rapidly approaching that 80-shot mark.
That marker right now, you're sitting at about 71 shots right now, 9 shots away from an 80 again. Not as many shots from Kalkaska in this period. The Mobsters started the period off with, I believe, 31 shots. They've put 15 shots on the board just in this period so far. They are flying when it comes to shooting. And here we go. It's Steven Swick. Swick getting around, throwing some rights. Swick throwing rights. Swick staying up. Lefts and rights from both. Swick switches hands. They're going to tie them both up. And it was a good fight. It was Keegan McGraw versus Steven Swick. Swick, known for his hands on the team. McGraw gave a good effort. Steven Swick, only 5'8", 5'9". McGraw looks to be about 6'2", 6'3". You want to talk a big height difference and weight difference? Good on Steven Swick for staying on his feet. Good on McGraw for answering the bell.
I will give kudos to both guys. They gave it their all. Good fight from both guys. Both guys got in the box, thumbs up to each other. Hey, good battle. Good battle.
Gave the little head pat after when they got grabbed. Good fight. Good fight.
6:10 to go in the game. Toledo up 8-5. 6 minutes and 10 seconds away from advancing into the playoffs. Toledo plays it on the far boards. Over to Pfeiffer at the top. Kept in, played down to Brown. Brown comes back to the D point, knocks it down. Plays it along a board, steps in. Here's a chance for him. Over across, tried to find Kane. Omachinsky covered at the point. Here's a chance for Kalkaska, but knocked away. Madrowski has it knocked, is able to knock it back. Giblin has to pick it up for the Badlers. Plays it off for the boards, but kept in there by Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer looks for the backhand, turns back around, looks at the point. Looks far side. Chance was there for Brown, but taken away by the Badlers. Badlers look to rush up ice. They set back behind the net. Badlers look up ice, looking for their break. There it is through center, picked up there by Duncan. Duncan steps in, shoots it hard into the corner. Lutz is taken down. Now Pinnell plays D as they rish down ice. Mahalik plays it behind the net. Duncan picks it back up, out to center for Lutz. Lutz picks it up there at center ice and turns into the zone. Here's a chance, turns around, sideboards. Drops it off for Pinnell. Pinnell skates down low, feeds it across, just off of the hands of what looked to be Bomey. And Bomey knocked on top of the pile. Matt Heim took exception to Reese Bomey being there and decided to launch him across the ice. 4:27 to go in the game. 8-5 Toledo.
Do believe that one, that big cross check. I'm not sure whether it was Heim. I think it might have been Tyler Christensen. Christensen, you've seen Ostenmacher, you've seen Steven Swick, you've seen even Eric Safarian wanting something to happen with him. He chooses to go after the guy with a cage on.
What are you trying to say, Lucas?
Maybe doesn't want to go for the guys who are willing to go today.
Point out, Shot saved by Kalkaska. Lutz picks it up on the sideboards. Down low for Pfeiffer. Chance save. Face off on the far dot. 4:11 to go in the game. 8-5 Toledo. And it's starting to look a little bit like Kalkaska is ready to just ride this string out. Lutz on the draw. Picks it up behind the net. Lutz takes a look. Tries to make the pass out to the point, but had it knocked away. Duncan will pick it up back in his own zone. Pinnell picks it up on the pass from Duncan. Up through center. Steps into the zone. Off his backhand, steps in hard. Tries to slide it across the crease, but picks up his own pass. Off to Duncan, who steps in. Duncan with a chance up front. Had that stick just go across the top of the net. Duncan dumps it back in. Right just off of the noggin of the head coach of Kalkaska, but just missed him. Face off will be in the zone. 3:34 to go. 8-5 Toledo.
Brody Duncan picking up shots. You see that lineup of Duncan and Pennell out there right now. You get good offensive movement from both of them. Both being more slightly offensive minded, with Duncan being able to put the physicality in as well. You've got good opportunities out of both of your defensemen to score goals.
At center ice, picked up there by Williams. Feeds it over to Hightower, back to Williams. Williams played it over to Madrowski. Madrowski crashes into the corner. Badlers come out with the puck. Far side boards. Knocked down there by Pfeiffer. He's got to wait while the zone clears. Now it's clear. Nice play. Back over to his D partner, Austin Smith. Up ahead to Hightower. Hightower steps into the zone, finds Williams, but has it knocked away. Smith goes down ice to pick up the puck deep behind his own net. 2:48 to go for Toledo before they would advance into the round 2 of the Governor's Cup playoffs. Chillman picks it up for the Badlers, feeds it over to Giblin. Off the boards, picked up there.
And if you're the coach of Kalkaska, you got to be wondering when you're going to pull Everett Bailey to get the extra attacker out there. There's not as much time as you think, and you won't get as many opportunities as you want.
All the way down the ice, picked up there. Now they're going to say too many men for Toledo. Two minutes, 13 seconds remain in this game. Toledo up by 3 goals. Kalkaska will be on the power play for all but the last 13 seconds of this game, provided they don't score. Again, 8-5. Chillman slides it over. Heim takes a tumble. Nice save by Mahalik. Played up by Kane down on net, so Kalkaska has to play it. Picked up there by Heim. Heim sets up the power play. Out to 24, cross center ice. Rushes into the zone. All the way back out for Chillman, but it comes out of the zone. Heim recovers. Feeds it ahead. Tipped wide by Mahalik. Duncan plays it around to his D partner. That's Pinnell. Back to Duncan. Omachinsky slides it down the ice. On the power play, using the whole length of the ice, making Kalkaska come all the way back. Heim skates up through center ice. Chance for them. Mahalik makes the save, keeps the clock going, plays it off to Pinnell. Sorry, that was Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer over to Kane. Up aboard. Last minute of the game, Toledo up 8-5.
Mahalik looking for it. Mahalik had an opportunity to score the empty net goal.
Just much like Matt Cooper last night.
This time he actually got an opportunity to try.
Oh, he had his chance. It was taken down. We'll see if we score this time. Williams scores. Makes it 9-5 with just 17 seconds to go. Didn't know what might happen after that open netter with several battlers coming back towards Williams on that one, but 4 seconds remaining on the power play, or the
on the penalty, or on the power kill. Another goal for Toledo on it. Third of the night coming off this power kill. Game's pretty much all set, match, and done. You feel bad for Kalkaska here at the end. Quite a good opening season here in the APHL. Not as good as you'd hope, but coming from head owner Andrew Dibble, quite a game, quite a season from the guy. We love it. As for Toledo, you move on to play the number 1 ranked Buffalo Tempest. You have an opportunity to continue to move up and up and up. Get back to your second Governor's Cup final, and this time hopefully win it. As for everything else, you'll see the best tradition in hockey right here. You'll have every player come through, shake hands right after. You may battle throughout every single game, but at the end of the day, you all play hockey. You all just battled really, really hard against everyone.
I'd like to say congratulations to the Toledo Mobsters. Some of the Kalkaska players are a little upset with the Toledo fans. But congratulations to the Mobsters as they advance. Today's final was Toledo 9, Kalkaska 5. They do advance to the second round of the Governor's Cup against the Buffalo Tempest. We wish both teams the best of luck. Hope to see Kalkaska back next year. And maybe they'll have a few more players, which kind of made a difference in today's game. They were a little outmanned number-wise, but pressure, Kalkaska was there. Congratulations to Kalkaska for a great season, as you mentioned, Lucas. Good luck to your Mobsters as they move on to round 2 of the APHL Governor's Cup playoffs. We'd like to thank the sponsors for the Toledo Mobsters. That's Twiggs Hockey Shop, Majestic Auto, Ballast Buick GMC, Toledo Landscape Supply, Toledo Outdoor Living, Mighty Auto Parts, Pillar Athletic Training and Hockey Academy, Modern Woodman of America, Twiggs Hockey Advisors, O'Reilly Auto Parts, 1111 Photography, DJ Rez Q, Apple a Day, Way Too Detailed, Building Heating and Air, Paint Wizards, SP Radiator, SP Truck Parts, E&K Contractors, Perrysburg Movers, Parts Plus, and Federated Auto Parts. Once again, your final score today, Toledo Mobsters 9, Kalkaska Battlers 5. Your Mobsters move on to round 2 of the APHL Governor's Cup. Congratulations, and we'll see you soon.